Hello friends, welcome to techessay YouTube channel. Friends, in today's video we are going to discuss what is the Kubernetes, what are the basic Kubernetes objects, and how we can simply define by using the YAML language, and we will practically deploy a basic Nginx image. Okay, so without wasting time, let's go with our PPT first of all. So let me start the slideshow. Okay, so here our main agenda is to discuss the Kubernetes objects and YAML basic, so that we can easily understand the basic syntax of YAML, and we can deploy our first Nginx container. Okay. So basically Kubernetes objects are persistent entities in the Kubernetes system that represent the state of our cluster. Okay, like what containerized application are running, and what are the available resources for them, and what are the policy around them, like they define the behavior of that. Okay, like restart policies or upgrade policies. Okay, and it's mainly tell about record of intent, like when you create an object, the Kubernetes API constantly work to ensure that object should exist. Okay, and also it's define the object identity, like every object is a unique. Okay, and identified by its name and UID in namespaces. Okay, so basically if you don't know about the like these are the mainly three pillars of every object, you can think that, like a name is the name and UI is the unique identification ID that is basically attached with the every object, and namespace is the unique namespace. Basically it's used for the isolation in multi-tenant environment. Okay, like here your sales namespace name in your organization, namespace name be like sales namespace, and finance namespace, where we can apply the specific resources quota over the namespace, and also the specific rules and rollback access policies. Okay, so everything is this is the basic concept here. So let me discuss about the imperative versus declarative management. We can give command in two manners. Basically first one is command method, that is the absolutely imperative method. Here we define how you have to do that. Okay, so like here we define the action, you tell Kubernetes like exactly what to do by using commands. And here like we can use the kubectl run, kubectl expose, like mainly we use the kubectl command with the detailed information like how to perform that action. It's basically useful for the troubleshooting task, the task like where we require the immediate attentions, and only consists the like source of truth is hard to track, and also it's very hard to automate by using this. Okay, so it's always good practice to use the declarative management for the complex deployment. Okay, you can use the imperative management by quick troubleshooting purpose. Okay, so in declarative management basically we define what need to do. Now Kubernetes take care that how he will do the things. Like here we define the desired state in YAML file. Okay, and Kubernetes make it happen. Here like we mainly use kubectl apply -f and file name of that. Okay, so pros of this is the version controlled, can be it's very Git operations friendly. Okay, and can be in nature of repeatable and self-healing. Okay, it's also follow the idempotent nature. Okay, it means if you run this apply -f file name .yaml 2 times, then it will not going to adversely affect your deployments. Okay, if there is nothing changed, then it will apply no changes there. Okay, so consider it's require deeper understanding of YAML structure too. Okay, so here basic we will discuss like what are the basic structure of Kubernetes YAML. So like every Kubernetes API object include 4 mandatory root field. Okay, so if these fields are missing, the API will reject the file and show the error. Okay, so you can mentally think like API version is the language, like in which language you are going to talk, at what version we are going to talk. Okay, and kind define the object type, like object type maybe your resources object type, maybe like scale full set deployment or pods or namespaces, anything. uh, okay, so like here in metadata you define the like data about metadata about the objects like identity. Just I tell you that like name, id, and namespaces like thing. Okay, and specification is, this is the most important thing. Here we define the desired state, like what we want actually. Okay, so here when we discuss about the basic root fields like API version, we already discussed like which version of the Kubernetes API you are using to create this object. Kind, like what kind of object you want to use, like pod, service, deployment, like this. And metadata, like data that helps you uniquely identify object like name, UID, label, etc. Okay, so specification like desired state, that what you want to object to look like. And status, this is not we define in our YAML file, but this is the only read only for the users. Okay, it's solely managed by the Kubernetes itself, but this is the also a basic field, root field. Okay, so here this fifth one is not managed by the user, it's a root read only for the users, but actually it's a basic root field. Okay, so let's talk about the API version. So API versions are used to distinguish between different stages of features of the development. Okay, like version 1 is the very stable versions and ready for the production. And if it's written there like app v1, then common for higher level objects like deployment and diamond sets, and it's also stable. Okay, so if there is like version 1 alpha 1, like it's this written in this manner, then this is you have to be very cautious about to use it in your production, although you can use it in lower environment like development. Okay, so it's a very experimental and maybe buggy or maybe removed without any notice. Okay, if that is the like v1 beta 1 like that, then version is beta, then here you can use it in production, but at your own risk. Okay, minor changes may be happen before the final release. Okay, so let me talk about the metadata. Like here metadata section is used to organize and categorize your objects. It's very important to understand this metadata. Like this is the mostly name, versions, namespaces, labels, and notations. Okay, names like a unique string within a namespace. Namespace is a virtual partition. Default is default, of course. Okay, so as I already told you, what are the namespaces use cases, you can think about that. Okay, so like in any organization, large organization, there may be multiple departments. We want to segregate the resources utilization there, and we want to segregate the network also. So we can also want to segregate the roles and permissions there. So we use the namespaces for that purpose. Okay, so labels are key value pairs used for selection and grouping. Okay, so annotation is for non-identifying metadata used for tools and library, like example contact info or build details. Okay, so everything about this in Kubernetes is about this control loop. Okay, because what is this? So this is the specification versus status. Okay, what we have specified and what is the current status. It means the specification means the desired state that we want. Okay, and the status means the actual state that is currently. Okay, so like this is the brain of Kubernetes. The system operates in the constant loop to bridge the gap between these two fields like specification and status. Okay, so I already told you, like we provide this in our YAML file, like desired state we provide, and Now Kubernetes task is to fill the gap, okay, and make it in desired state. Like example, if our specification asks for 3 replica but only 2 replicas are running currently, the status will show to Kubernetes, see the mismatch and start a third pod also, okay, because we have specified a 3 replica. Okay, basic, let me go with the basic pod YAML example file. Okay, this is the basic file. Here we have written the API version like version 1, kind pod, it means it's a stable version, we can use that in our production, and kind is the pod, this is the object kind, metadata is like name, web server, labels are like app front end, specification is containers, and here we have not specified the replicas. Okay, so here name is Nginx container, image is Nginx 1.2, port says container port 80. So let me try to run this first of all, and then we will also discuss the YAML. Like if you are not aware from the YAML, then it's very hard to understand the syntax of that, because YAML is very if you are absolute beginner, then it takes some time to understand you. Okay, so what is YAML? Just here let me explain first what is the YAML, then we will see a basic deployment, and then after we will wrap up this session. Okay, so YAML is at basically old name of YAML is at another markup language. Okay, so currently name is changed to YAML ent markup language. What is the meaning of this? It's not the markup language, it's basically a data serialization format. Okay, so you have to understand that it's basically a data serialization format that applications use to communicate. Okay, so it's the human readable data serialization language used for configuration files. Data exchange between languages with different data structure. YAML is often used in programming environment, particularly for configuration file in software application and data exchange in web services. It can have .yaml or .yml extension. Okay, so extension is very important here, so you have to remember that. YAML is designed to be easily readable by humans and can be used to represent data structure like list, array, associative arrays. It's commonly used in configuration files for software application, infrastructure automation, data exchange between different programming languages or applications. So basic syntax contains the scalars, list, map, comments. Okay, so what are the scalars? These are the simple values like string, integers and float. In YAML, scalars can be written without quotes, but quotes can be used to ensure that value should be interpreted as string. A list is represented as sequence of item, and each item in list is preceded by a dash and a space. Okay, maps are also known as associative arrays. For dictionaries, maps are represented as a collection of key value pairs. Each pair is separated by a colon and a space. So if you are not able to understand, then don't worry, just read these definitions and we will see the practical of each thing. Okay, so comments, like YAML supports comments which are preceded by hash. Comments are ignored by the parsers. Okay, so basic YAML rules are like indentation rule. YAML is very strict with their indentation. So if you use one extra spaces at wrong place, then it will basically it can throw the error due to the spaces, because their indentation rule can break. Okay, so like so it's always good practice to use the spaces instead of tabs, like 2 spaces to separate the each objects. Okay, and separation rule, like here give the space after a colon, single space after colon, like this. Here it's written there. Okay, list, it's basically a dash for array items, like here we can use this in this manner. Multiple list, like here it's given in list format in children. Okay, let's take the example to understand that. Like this is the comment sample YAML file. So first line will be ignored by the system. Okay, so in this example we can see that we have map with key name, age, married, children and languages, and the children key contains a list of maps, each representing a child. The language key contains a list of string also. Okay, so usage of YAML is like we know that here we are going to use the YAML. So basic configuration file, data serialization and description, infrastructure as a code, like in DevOps, AWS Cloud Formation, Kubernetes, Terraform, and also multi-purpose. It's a multi-purpose language for application communication, so it's widely used. in software industry. Okay, so we can use in CI/CD pipeline, like by specifying the GitHub action, GitLab, CI/CD, and Jenkins etc. We can also use the Docker Compose or Ansible files. We can write Ansible files mainly in YAML, although JSON is also supported, but many people find JSON too hard in compared to YAML. And also YAML has very good clear structure, so it's a very good it has very good readability, so that's why YAML is preferred. Data storage also uses this like JSON, XML, and YAML format. So here there is multiple use cases of YAML. Okay, so let's start our first practical video. So here I have already installed the Minikube here. So let me show you the quickly Minikube status here. So here my Minikube is already running. If you have not till now, if you don't know how you can install the Minikube in your Windows system, so just follow my previous video, okay, of Kubernetes 0 to Hero series chapter 2, okay, so that you can have Minikube set up to practice this lab. Okay, so first of all let me go here. So here let me create quickly here I already created the Kubernetes training folder. Inside that there is a YAML file. Okay, so let me show the contents of that. So here currently I have notepad only. We will see how we can use the VS Code in next video. So here this is the very simple YAML file. Like here API version is version 1, it's a stable API version, and object kind is pod. Here we are going to create a pod. Okay, metadata is like name, and labels are mentioned here. Name is web server, labels is app format, front end, and specification is containers, and name is Nginx container, and image we are going to use Nginx 1.21 image that we are going to pull from the public Docker Hub repo. Okay, so registry. So ports we are here exposes the container port 80. It's a very beginner specific YAML file, although in production we don't use this type of specification. Okay, so here we will see what are the problems we will face, then we will also use the other settings up here, although we will gradually increase this complexity of these deployments, and also we will increase our understanding about the Kubernetes different services and different concepts. Okay, so first of all let me deploy that. So here kubectl, when we will run kubectl get nodes. Okay, I have one node, and you can see that pods. Currently there is no pod in the default namespace. Okay, so when we show the namespace, currently namespace is the default namespace where we are working inside the default namespace. Okay, so let me quickly apply nav our first pod. Okay, so here it's saying pod web server created. Let me check kubectl get pods. Okay, so here it's saying web server is running currently. Okay, so for more information we can just check the information here, like here it's a node type node on which it's running is Minikube, and IP is this, and it's currently running. So let me how we can check it's running or not. So we can just either use this we can deploy a service, or we can simply port forward this. Okay, So let me show you one more thing. Let me describe this pod so that we can understand deeper understanding of the components of pod. So here let me start from. So name is web server, name space is default, priority is 0, service account default, node is on which it's running is Minikube 192.168.49.2, start time is this, label is app, front end, annotation is none. Okay, we have not specified the annotation, any annotation, status is running, IP is this 10.2.0.5. Okay, and container ID is this, image is Nginx 1.21, image ID is this, it's a Docker pullable image, and port is 80 TCP, its state is running, and conditions like here type port ready to start containers true, initialize true, ready is true, containers ready is true. Okay, so basically these conditions we can specify in our next videos, okay, upcoming videos, so that I will show how we can easily control this. Okay, for now you can just understand about like these things are present. Okay, so volumes, here you can see that there are currently no precedent volume we have mounted with this this pod. It means if this pod will stop, then we will completely lose our data, because pods are ephemeral in nature. Okay, so it can die anytime and our data can lose. Okay, so but this it's for a sample one. So here let me yes, we want to, if we want to like here pod is running, but if you want to access this over our local system browser, then we have to expose it over the service, or we have to simply port forward this. Okay, so let me show you how you can easily bind it to your host port. So we can use the port kubectl port forward for the same. Here our container name is like web server, pod name basically. So here we are binding our this host port 8080 with the container, or you can say port 80. Okay, so what is saying? Usable listen on enable requested port. What is saying to listen port 80, listen failed to create with the following errors, enable to create listen error TCP port. One uses for this socket address protocol network normally permitted, enable to create. Okay, so let me use the different port. Okay, so now we have forwarded it to 8081. Okay, so it means port 8080 was earlier used by any service. Okay, we'll later check which service we are using. So currently let me here access over 8081. Yes, it's accessible. Okay, so let me try to access the index.html here, or we can say hello.html. So first of all we need to create that. So for that purpose let me open a new shell here. So kubectl, first of all let me run the get pod. Okay, so now we will log into pod, and we will just create a sample hello.html file. Okay, so for that purpose what we can do, we can simply log in that. Let me log in kubectl open interactive, and Shell will be bin s and so let me specify the name here. Sorry, what is saying kubectl is help for usage. Okay, so here I have made a simple mistake. Okay, so that now let me quickly create a file. Like here we can specify the heading 1 type, like hello, this is our first pod. Okay, so we can just if you are aware from that, then you can just use that in that manner. Okay, so here we are just doing our first sample. And let me to user to the location there, share, and the Nginx HTML hello.html. I hope this syntax is correct. Okay, so let me try to access the hello.html here. Okay, so it means our Nginx web server is completely working fine. Okay, so that's it for this video. In next video, just we will go deeper and understand the basic networking and services, different services of Kubernetes. Okay, thanks for watching the video.